Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hey, Friendo Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Raw after Mania. Oh boy. They have really brought it back together, creatively inspired, magnificent show. Larson, don't you agree?
It blew. You got your fan going on there? Your paper's waving around.
Yeah, I got my fan right there.
Your fan's blowing.
Yeah.
Not as hard as Raw blew, though. Wow. Dreadful. Dreadful. All the goodwill they had coming out of WrestleMania. One of the best WrestleManias ever. You can make the case the best. And they drop a turd. Absolute, complete turd. I like being positive. I like watching my wrestling programming. About 20 minutes into Raw, I got the Raw headache. You know what I'm talking about. When you're sitting there and it's hitting you that what you're about to witness is going to not be great. You're in for a long night, a slog. Sure enough, that's what you got. And it's just, for me, it was right here, right in my temple, right there. Just throbbing.
That's the worst.
Just throbbing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm like, I can't wait till this is over. I can go have a snack, relax.
It'll be over soon enough, my friend. I feel you. I thought it was, I had my hopes kind of up when it started out, Lashley showing up and, he throttles Riddle. They go at it in the ring and basically, I don't know whose bowl of cereal Riddle took a crap in, but Lashley really gave him the business. And,
he did.
And then from there on out, I liked Charlotte's promo. I thought, okay, so her gimmick now is going to be just the most Charlotte possible.
Yeah, Charlotte turned to 11.
Charlotte
12,
turned
I guess.
to 12. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like it was bookended by decent stuff, but there was stuff in the middle. I was like, I've kind of lost track with what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like she took some tangents and then she brought it back around.
It was
the
really
opportunity
long.
stuff.
It was really long.
The opportunity stuff was good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then I texted you right as soon as she was done talking. I saw the women's rematch was next. The Asuka versus Rhea was next. I was like, oh, 100% she's interfering in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, there's like just structurally, I felt like the show would have been improved somewhat by just moving some things around. Imagine you have how it opened. You have Riddle and Lashley. Mm-hmm. Right after that, Lashley's like, all right, celebrate me. I'm feeling great. Celebrate me. And then you have the stuff setting up the main event. So then you have the duration of the rest of the show to do something maybe interesting to build to that main event. Mm-hmm. You get the whole 3 hours roughly to build to that main event. Imagine this, that if Charlotte had come out and interfered at the end of Rhea versus Asuka, grab the mic, start dropping that promo in a truncated form, and while still kind of beating up Rhea and Asuka, that would have been impactful.
Yeah, that could have been pretty cool. That could have been cool.
So, I mean, just like some structural things, you rearrange things a little bit, you get more impactful stuff happening. You allow yourself more breathing room to tell some stories, as opposed to announce your main event at the beginning of the third hour of the show and have like Orton promo that build to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, how am I supposed to get excited for the main event? The main event was fine. It was a perfectly fun match.
Crack me up. I like the main event. I thought it was short. I thought it was cool. Orton's promo leading to the main event. What did he say? I've been distracted by the Fiend for how many months?
6 months, he said.
6 months. And he said, and then they just disappear, but they've been on the show. They had already been on the show, or Alexa had already been on the show.
Well, I guess he meant from his tunnel vision, you know?
I guess so, yeah. I feel like...
But here's the thing. When he said that, the first thing that popped in my head is like, oh, Bray's going to interfere.
Oh, really?
You know, because...
yeah. No, to me, it was writing... It was... Okay, so we can talk about this really quick. Because I like that I sort of got this right. Fightful, select.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
They're terrific. Go check them out. Go subscribe.
Yeah, go subscribe to Fightful Select. The absolute best.
Apparently, they just broke some sort of record for a number of subs. So everybody's flocking to Fightful, and it's great. So this is what I got in my inbox today from Fightful Select. Fightful has learned that the plan as of Friday before WrestleMania was for The Fiend to go over in the match at WrestleMania.
Makes all sense.
However, it was changed over the weekend to Randy Orton emerging victorious. There was never a plan in order for a Firefly Funhouse match, and beyond that, those associated with the angle were never given an end game at any point, outside of the fact that it would write Orton off of television for a good period of time. A surprise finish was pitched over the weekend, and we're told Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon were instrumental in the change and the decision-making associated. We were told that management seemed happy with the finish as it played out, but talent we've heard from were exceedingly confused.
Yeah, here's the thing about that. Like, if Orton had won tonight, I'd be like, okay. They didn't want Orton to lose at Mania, then only to come to Raw the next night and pick up the win and get a title shot. I mean, still, I don't think it was a wise idea to have Orton win, even if that was a logic behind it. But at least there's a logic behind it. Some logic behind it. It's like, okay, you're going to have Randy Orton win this feud? All right, I guess so.
I wonder if Bray Wyatt... You would think, in order for a man not to go insane, understands that whatever feud he gets the Fiend into, it's like, because I was saying this earlier, I was like, I imagine that they probably just say, hey, Bray, here's the deal. This is who you're going to be with next. You figure it out, but this is, and you get to win. Or this person gets to win. In the case of Goldberg, it was Fiend was going to win. Goldberg comes in. We had heard this. Goldberg came in, said, that doesn't work for me, brother. And so Fiend just had to roll with it. Bray Wyatt just had to roll with it. Okay, well, Goldberg wins. I'll incorporate that into my story. In order for him not to go insane, he has to take these just illogical changes in plans and just roll with them. And
tonight he just said, reset.
Yes, exactly. Because what else can he do? And Orton in one promo said, man, I've been doing this for 6 months. Well, got to move on now. They've disappeared from my view. So, I mean, it's one RKO. He's out of it. He runs away, and that's it. After 6 months.
No, after 4 years.
You can take
4
the long
years.
Yeah.
Like, they had a real opportunity. Not surprised they didn't capitalize on it. Real opportunity to take what happened at Mania 33. It was horrible. And find a way to at least try to make up for it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel like they bothered doing that.
Yeah. But Bray rolls with it. They've got this Alexa stuff, and that is for me it's interesting stuff. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to see what Bray does from here. But yeah, it was like, man, we went through that whole thing, which admittedly has some cool moments. He set a man on fire, had some cool moments, and they just sort of, wow, yeah, pal, we got to get the RKO in there, which is all I can imagine. The discussion is. We got to get that big RKO in there. People love the RKO. Got to get the RKO and the pin, and that's it. And he's like, okay, all right, well, let's see what I can do with that. I mean, even when Goldberg won, he was able to come up with a justification. Basically, I'm fine sacrificing the title so I can go after John Cena. And get this guy out of my history. The thing's been weighing on my shoulders since then. Yeah, I don't even know if switching stuff around would have really saved the show.
You take moments and could potentially improve them, or at least
you could improve them. But the bottom line is, we just had 2 days of WrestleMania, and I'm not like whatever they do with fans or without fans, that's on them, and whatever arrangements they can make with municipalities and whatnot, getting fans back. We had 2 days of fans, and look, would fans have made a difference? I think it would have. Even with the show we got, I think fans would have made a difference because there was an energy. There's an energy to it. Now, would it have made it all that better? Maybe not. But going from having all those people there to back to Thunderdome, where it's this shit and that shit and thumbs up.
I mean, what I saw on TV today, 30 minutes in the show, they would busted the beach balls out, man.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think that you can't go from the emotion of what we got over the last 2 days back to Thunderdome, and it's all piped in, and it's low energy, and it's just crap, and it's like, back to silly gym workouts, as Dave Meltzer once described the Performance Center stuff.
But here's the thing: I don't think fans in attendance could have saved this show from still being not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they had put forth an interesting effort creatively, even in an empty arena, it would have been obviously vastly better. I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, you have bad creative, fans there or not, the show's not going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, we're coming off 2 days that were pretty damn good. And if we had those 2 days in an empty arena, I still would have thought it would suck because the fans wouldn't have been there, and the fans added a lot. And so you go from that, you go to this, and it's like, yeah, the creative sucked. But, like, you're also dealing with no energy from the fans, and we just got that, and it was awesome. And so I do think that has to play with it. That does have something to do with it. It's just you know, it is what it is. Let's talk about the new announce team. Adnan Virk stepping in for Tom Phillips now. Corey Graves added to the team. Corey Graves was like the MVP of announcing tonight because he was doing a lot of the play-by-play stuff. He was sort of guiding Adnan Virk. Adnan Virk. And I thought that I appreciated that he brought sort of the sports broadcasters, atmosphere to it. Not everybody can be Excalibur where, every single individual name is known and thrown out there. I do think
all the moves and where they wrestled before. Yeah.
Some of that. Yeah. The moves of the names of the moves. I do think that is probably something that Vince and company shouldn't overlook in terms of what they should value for play-by-play when play-by-play is supposed to be calling the moves and what they are. He started out a little bit nervous because he was talking a mile a minute, but he seemed to calm down a little bit throughout the episode. It'll be interesting to see if they give him time to develop. It was funny because literally the second or third sentence he said, he cut off halfway through, and I can guarantee it's because somebody started shouting in his ear. I can guarantee
there was one for Corey where Corey was mid-sentence and he stopped. Probably because he was getting directions.
He was getting somebody shouting
during the opening bout. Yeah. It was a bit of a bumpy start. But I think, after the first match, they found a decent rhythm, and Adnan will improve with time and more repetitions. I don't think he by any stretch took away from the show. So let's talk about the main event thing. So we've been wondering who is going to fill out the ranks of the Hurt Business now that Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are jobbing out to the Viking Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And we may have got our answer at the end of the show. So after Drew wins the triple threat match, he's going to get a title shot against Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Mace, T-Bar, still in their Retribution gear, hit the ring, hit Drew with a double choke slam, leave the ring and stand at the foot of the ramp while MVP takes it all in at the top of the stage. And commentary was more or less saying, what's going on? Does MVP know about this? Well, MVP's up there with kind of a smirk on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Ever so subtle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that we didn't get the moment where Dijak and Dio Madden take their masks off, look towards MVP. MVP gives them a nod. That's all you really need for tonight. So that Dijak and Dio can separate themselves from Retribution, because that's done. Find their own identities as Dijak and Dio without the baggage of Retribution, because that thing was messed up from the very beginning, and find a way to bring them into the Hurt Business if that is indeed what is happening completely. But we didn't get that. I imagine we'll have an extended 15-minute promo from MVP and then Dijak and Madden explaining in great detail why they did what they did. And we don't really need that. You just need them essentially saying, all right, we learned the hard way that this is a business and we got to be business people. And when you're a business, if you're here and you want to do business, you go to the Hurt Business. That's all you really need.
Yeah, I doubt we're going to get that, to be honest with you. I think they're just going to stay in their Retribution outfits. Probably. And just sort of, and it'll be nebulous for the next 3 months as to whether or not they're actually in Hurt Business.
And then they won't be for sure.
And then they definitely won't be. I don't know, because that's how they do. They do a lot of things half in, half out. You know, I don't know, man. I'm not optimistic that we're gonna get any cool moments like that, because I'd love to see them throw their masks down. That'd be rad. But yeah, I just don't know that's gonna happen. They're gonna still be in their Retribution gear,
Probably.
even though they're not in Retribution
It'll be Mason
anymore.
T-Bar.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. I think that'd be cool. I think they should do it. I think they should have the moment where, you know, hey, I'm what's the name? Dominic Dijakovic.
And I'm an Arby's guy.
I'm an Arby's guy. I just want some fries.
There you go. Love that commercial.
that popped me more than anything. There's the Arby's commercial where the Arby's guy. It's because that Arby's guy voice is so great. We have the meats. I just want some fries.
Just want some fries. Good stuff.
Assassin RKO says, no way they're staying in those outfits. Guarantee they show up in suits next week. Man, all my confidence points. And hey, I'm terrible at predictions, but all my confidence points are in they're being in Retribution outfits.
It's either going to be in Retribution gear or they're going to be in suits. But it's probably 90% sure there's zero explanation for why they're there.
See, dude, here's the thing. That's one of those things where I'm okay. If they actually show up in suits, I can fill in the blanks myself. It's just, this is WWE. They're going to have their Retribution outfits on it like for another 5 years. Because they're weird like that. They don't like to change things, you know? I mean, at least Cedric and Shelton weren't wearing Hurt Business gear. At least they were wearing, it was still the same colors. It was the black and gold, but it wasn't branded Hurt Business. So at least they had that.
Again, it just puts a massive spotlight on why did you break them up in the first place?
I know. But yeah, no, Retribution, you can make them actual, you know, like 3-dimensional characters, having them take off their masks and saying, you know what? Like, we tried it. We tried going against the business. Now we're with the business. We're with the Hurt Business, you know? That's great. That's awesome. Will they do it? I hope. They have 3 hours. They should.
I know.
You got 3 hours.
Well, they'll do it and they'll recap it twice in the same episode, Steve.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. Recap it 5 times. Just do it. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, ExpressVPN. So we all know the WWE Network has moved to Peacock, but the entire library of their content won't be available to us marks here in the United States until like SummerSlam, Larson, and who knows if the entire thing is even going to be available then. What am I supposed to do, man? Buy old DVDs off the old eBay? What am I supposed to do here?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But get this. Did you know that Netflix hides thousands of shows from you based on your location? Now, at the end of the month, apparently they're going to jack up prices again.
What? All right, man. Well, listen. What if I told you that there was a way to watch not only all those hidden Netflix shows, but also all those early episodes of Raw or like ECW, Hardcore TV, that are now all only available on the international version of the WWE Network?
Steve, how do I do this? Tell me now. How do I do this?
Tell you right now. Just listen. You got to check out ExpressVPN. You see, with ExpressVPN, you can choose which country Netflix, WWE Network, or countless other streaming services think you're from, with over 90 countries to choose from. So every time you run out of stuff to watch, you just fire up the old ExpressVPN app on your phone, laptop, or smart TV, switch your country, and unlock new shows, Jack dude.
Oh, heck yeah. Too sweet, me brother.
Too sweet. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/GIR. Don't forget to use our link so you can get 3 extra months free.
That's expressvpn.com/GIR, expressvpn.com/GIR to learn more.
So let's just go ahead and kick this thing off.
Let's talk about Lashley's awesome orange suit he was wearing at the beginning of the show.
It was awesome.
That thing was amazing.
It was like creamsicle. It was great. So he walks in. He's congratulated by a few people. And then Riddle comes riding up on his scooter. Lashley talks him. They're sort of not on the same page because Riddle's like, you know, he's doing his Riddle thing. And Lashley talks some shit to him. says he's here to talk to the WWE Universe and celebrate his victory, and that's it. Riddle's beneath him. And then Riddle starts doing some verbatim quotes of Lashley's own words from the past few weeks and months, talking about opportunities and title shots, and anybody can get a title shot, et cetera, et cetera. Lashley doesn't like hearing his own words used against him, so he smacked him down, says, "You're a loser, and I'm a winner, and I'm going to show you the difference." That was that. Yeah, that was that. Then we get Adnan Virk introduced, along with Corey Graves, who's now on Raw.
Let's talk about the new Thunderdome setup. So it's in the Yuengling Center at University of South Florida. It's a smaller venue, I read on Twitter, and therefore the entry ramp is narrower. It doesn't feel like the Tron's is wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty cool because they have the panels of LEDs lined up right against the perimeter of the ramp.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, it looked better. It's still just Thunderdome, so I don't know. I just want fans to be back. And then we kicked off with Lashley versus Riddle. And I made a note of this. So Virk started talking about Lashley wanting vengeance. And at that point, he seemed to be quickly shut down in his ear because he stops a thought mid-sentence. I mentioned that earlier. But yeah, Lashley just manhandles Riddle outside the ring before the bell even rings. Just absolutely destroys him. In the ring, ref makes sure Riddle is conscious, and he says, "Yeah, ring the bell." So they do. He just gets murdered. At one point, Lashley press slams Riddle over the barricade. We go to commercial. Riddle really gets in the bare minimum of offense in here. I know he got in like a knee strike, maybe a couple other things. Lashley turns it around into a hurt lock, taps him out for the win.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had a Rhea and Asuka Mania recap, followed by a Rhea interview. As mentioned before we got started, this definitely seemed like a situation because Rhea can handle herself on the mic well.
We've seen
She's
it.
decent on the mic.
We've seen
her do some good mic work.
We've seen it.
This seemed like a situation where they were like, "Hey, we got this promo for you," like right before she has to do it. Here we have cue cards for you or something.
Rhea, we've got this great phrase for you: brutal world order. Get it? It's like new, but it's brutal. Brutal world. What? Brutal world order. It's pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. It wasn't a great promo.
BW.
It wasn't a great script. Anyways, she's talking about how do you feel your first title defense. He's talking about confidence. Is that confidence led her to challenge Asuka? It's going to let her to beat Asuka and become champ. And she'll prove tonight that she's ready for Asuka.
After that, we had Prime Alexander and Shelton Benjamin versus the returning War Raiders. Nice to see Hanson back.
Yeah, and Ray Rowe.
Ivar, that's his name. Ivar, and then Eric.
Eric and Ivar.
Yeah.
You can call him Hanson and Ray Rowe. War Machine. Let's call him War Machine.
So, yeah, War Machine. I'll just go to War Machine. Anyways, so yeah, this was Shelton for a spell was, or I'm sorry, both the Alexander, I don't even know. I mean, it's just Alexander and Benjamin, I guess, have Eric isolated for a spell. He gets a tag in for Hanson. He's able to just go off. Shelton at one point is able to tag Cedric in, but that doesn't really matter. He ends up getting hit with a Viking experience for 3. War Raiders pick up the win. Good match. I mean, it's a fun match, though. Yeah,
I just don't want this to be the fate of Cedric and Shelton now that they're away from the Hurt Business, is just to start losing all sorts of tag matches.
Yeah, I do. They need, man, god dang, they need a story with these guys. They need a story, and it can't just be fade into oblivion. That's not a story.
I really like that Shelton was very wary of Cedric the whole time until they found a measure of peace.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And then now they're like they got each other's back. It's great. Run with it. Do something with it.
Let's just get like a backstage segment where they're talking about what their plans are or something. You know?
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. We had an Asuka interview. She's asked how you're going to approach this rematch. She says Rhea brought the fight last night, but now it's her turn. Losing to Rhea was a nightmare, but tonight she's ready for Rhea, and she'll once again be Raw Women's Champion.
After that, Charlotte Flair comes back. She's looking like she's wearing some Tron Rawgate-proof technology. She had a really awesome outfit on.
Had a talk with the Rawgate whistleblower.
She did, yes, exactly. Next up, Charlotte in a flesh mech outfit. Anyway, she makes the camera guy hold the ring ropes for her, so you know she's in a mood tonight. She says, so here I am on the Raw after Mania. Usually I'd have that Flair smile going, but I wasn't welcomed at WrestleMania. And I know what some of you are thinking. It's just one WrestleMania. You've been to 5. She says, no, I am a franchise player. I'm a genuine superstar, and what I do is sacred. She says, it wasn't my fault for not being there. It was out of my control. Was it my fault Asuka needed a tag partner? Was it my fault my dad showed up acting a fool? Was it my fault Lacey Evans got pregnant and I didn't get to kick her ass? That opportunist Rhea challenged Asuka, defeated her, and a new champion was crowned. Out with the old, in with the new. And Asuka was able to politic her way into a rematch tonight. But she wasn't the only one thinking of opportunities. Everybody in the locker room, she starts naming off names. Says, Charlotte won't be there. This will be my opportunity. Kudos to Rhea. You're the biggest snake in the locker room. Well, karma's a bitch, and I am that bitch. She rattles off. Oh, this is where she rattles off every name in the women's division. She says, no one compares to me. She says, I was sitting at home watching WrestleMania. You know what I realized for the first time after 7 years of being with this company? I don't steal opportunities. I am the opportunity. So to all you delusional fans sitting at home who think I steal opportunities from your favorites, I am that opportunity. I'm not apologizing for how good I am anymore. Bow down to the 13-time champ. No more humble Charlotte. Show some respect to what I brought to this industry. Years of my life, tears, blood, and sweat. And what have any of you given to me in return? Enjoy your title match, the one that I should have been in. So she is Charlotte.
12.
Cranked up to most Charlotte.
12. Maximum Charlotte.
All the way up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's totally interfering in this next match, and sure enough, she did. This match was going pretty good. Asuka, Rhea Ripley rematch for the Raw Women's Championship, and then something happened.
The first thing that I noticed was Asuka going for a drop kick and Rhea being 2 feet, maybe a foot away from the impact should have been. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Rhea put her in a reverse cloverleaf, slammed her down, got 2 with that, and then it just went completely off the rails.
Yeah, it kind of fell apart a little bit. Anyway, sure enough, they take it to the floor. Asuka hits the DDT off the apron. Charlotte comes out, just annihilates Asuka and Rhea.
Mm-hmm. Starts doing the boohoo face too. Started doing
hit some boots, exploder suplex, and hit some boots to each of them against the LED board. So it looks like we're getting a triple threat between the 3 of them at WrestleMania Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what the WrestleMania batch should have been. I mean, when you introduced Rhea 2 weeks before the show, you could have brought Charlotte back in too.
Lots of story there between all this. Maybe Charlotte will be the. Maybe she'll be the
the glue that holds
holds it together. Yeah, maybe it'll be a 5-star affair. They're all great. They're all great wrestlers. Maybe just need that extra ingredient. Oh, I just froze. That's weird.
Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, BetterHelp. Several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned the importance firsthand of talking to a therapist, but also discovered that it could be extremely difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe and private online environment where your needs will be assessed and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, all without ever having to sit in another uncomfortable waiting room.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches. Send your counselor messages at any time or schedule regular weekly phone or video sessions, and they've made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
After that, we had Miz and Morrison backstage. Maurice is there.
Maurice.
And Morrison asks why. And Miz says, what are you talking about? She's the guest on MizTV tonight. And he goes, oh, all right. Totally breaking them up. They're totally breaking
Don't get my hopes up, man, okay? Don't get my hopes up.
Miz and Morrison. breaking them up.
We
breaking
had
them up.
Arby's Sugar Ray Fries commercial. I just want some fries.
Just want fries.
All right. So after that, we had Nia and Shayna watching backstage. They kept on rewinding and watching over and over. Mandy Rose slip on the ramp of WrestleMania. Mandy comes up to him. Shayna sort of saunters off. She says, it was really embarrassing what happened at WrestleMania, but, it happened real quick. Funny when you don't see stuff happening, or it's funny when you don't see stuff coming. And then she slaps Nia out of nowhere, and her and Dana shove her to the ground and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we got Alexa Bliss on the swing. She says, I bet you're wondering what was going on. She sort of tells her story, sort of confirms what we had speculated at. She said, once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was rescued by the darkness. As my camera goes dark again. She says she was rescued by the darkness. The darkness protected her, and they're sort of showing the story play out using clips from, the whole story with her and Bray. It says the darkness protected her, nurtured her, taught her everything she knew. But then that darkness went away. They show a clip of the Fiend being burnt to death. It says, I wonder, is that what the little girl realized? That she never needed the darkness after all? How do you think it made her feel when she realized she could do everything on her own? Was the darkness helping her, or was it standing in her way? Why else would she use what she was taught to help destroy the darkness? There's one thing we do know, though, along the way. I unlocked something truly evil. Meet my new friend. Was it Lily? Lily. For some reason, I have Louie here, but yeah, it was Lily. Alabama was probably talking at the time. It was like, Louie? Who's Louie? Okay, cool. Right on. It was Lily. Hey, Louie. She says, trust me, our fun is just getting started. It's Louie Dangor. It's a puppet of Louie Dangor. I'm going to get my own Louie Dangor puppet.
There you go, man. There you go.
That's good.
So this isn't going the direction we exactly thought. Well, I guess kind of. We thought maybe that she was usurping the Fiend's power, and I guess to a degree she is. She's tapped into his power source and found that it has made her stronger, and obviously doesn't need him anymore. Doesn't really seem like Aleister Black's going to work into this unless he is the power source.
Yeah, it could be. Well, we are human batteries, the Matrix suggests that anyways, I guess. Isn't that what they were feeding off of? Humans?
It's been such a long time since
humans.
I've seen that movie. After that, MizTV with special guest Maurice. Miz is really talking up how awesome it was that he took the L to Bad Bunny because he is the most talked about entertainer in all of entertainment. And he answers the question, why is Maurice on MizTV? Morrison says, yeah, I know, but why don't you explain it for everybody else? He says, because the season premiere of Miz and Mrs. is debuting after Raw. Morrison pitches a spinoff with him as well. Miz says, no spinoff. You're on episode tonight. And then Miz starts taking credit for Bad Bunny's great performance at WrestleMania. Says without him, Bad Bunny would have been a flop. Then he's interrupted by Damian Priest. Priest says that, I was his partner, and I'm not even going to take credit for how great he was. He put in the work. He did the training. That's why he was good. Hey, Miz, didn't you say Bad Bunny didn't belong here? And Miz is wondering, hey, Priest, where were you in all the highlights I just showed? Because he showed a few highlights earlier. He says, you were getting upstaged by Bunny. I, on the other hand, Miz, had plenty of Mania moments. I made evented Mania against John Cena. But, Priest, if you want to get some of my star power, how about we have a match tonight? And then Morrison says, well, hold on. I was just about to do that. I was about to challenge him to a match. And they start arguing. And then Maurice says, stop it.
Yeah.
Why don't you both fight him?
You can both fight him.
And then Priest calls them idiots. Says, if you want a handicap match, fine. Let's do it right now. Keep in mind that The Miz is in a suit.
Yeah.
And Morrison is in a leather jacket, and, like normal pants and boots. Not wrestling boots, but just boots.
Mm-hmm.
And so that match happens after commercial. Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison.
Yep. So, yeah, this sort of goes typically how one of their handicap matches goes. Not well for Miz and Morrison. Priest hits the South of Heaven. Morrison breaks it up. Comes in. Priest takes him down. Miz tags in without Priest seeing it. He hits the lights out on Morrison. Miz comes in. Maurice prevents Priest then from getting his finish on Miz. At some point, Priest basically stripped Miz down to his undies. Priest gets distracted by Maurice on the apron. He's like, "Hey, you need to go down there," and then Miz gets a roll up on Priest, but puts his legs on like the third rope for like a cheating pin.
Maurice was holding his feet.
Yeah, so they got the sneaky
he rolls up
there.
Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
After that, we had a Nia and Shayna interview. Interview throws to footage of the fight that happened, I thought, 30 minutes ago, but Nia corrected me in the course of her answer. They did a recap of something that happened just 20 minutes ago. And she asked, why was it necessary to show that? Same question I had.
Yeah.
Why was it necessary to show that? It just happened.
Yeah.
And she says, you did it just to embarrass me. Mandy and Dana orchestrated that attack to deflect attention from Mandy's Mania blooper. Well, they're in luck because after the match tonight, no one will be talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened next, and this was the most frustrating finishes I've seen in a match in a very long time. So the tables were turned on Nia because she tripped up on the middle rope getting into the ring. And later on, she tries to get back on the apron, trips up again.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mandy and Dana are laughing whenever, she trips up as being clumsy. And so after the second one, Nia is getting enraged at them for laughing at her. And so she gets the ring, and so they leave the ring.
They just leave, yeah.
They walk up the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave. They get counted out. What do you mean it's not worth it? You beat the tag champs, you might get a title shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And commentary is trying to explain it to us. We're like, well, Nia getting embarrassed is just as good as a win. Embarrassing Nia is not going to get them a tag title opportunity. So, sorry, no, it's not the same thing.
Here's where the logic continues to falter, because if Nia Jax is having suddenly a fit of being clumsy, then there's a larger chance that she's
take advantage of that.
She's going to screw up a move. She's going to slip, fall, be in a position to lose the match. I just the thing that bugs me is it's like, the writers are sitting around, or Bruce and Vince or whatever. Well, you know how Mandy fell. Why not all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with no prompting, we have Nia be clumsy for a night? And then they will get to enact their vengeance. Isn't that clever and ironic? No. Doesn't make any sense, because why would she all of a sudden, like, they didn't even explain, why is Nia suddenly very clumsy when she never really is? I mean, there was the one bit with the hole, but that's simply because she went for a move and missed. That was motivating. You
know why they didn't explain it? Because there's no explanation.
Right, yeah.
There's no explanation behind it.
Yeah.
That's why. You know what they could do? It's simple. When Mandy and Dana pushed her over, she bumped her head on something.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's an explanation, I guess. Have her come out the ring with an ice pack on her head. I don't know.
Yeah. They kayfabe like a little lump from like the cartoons.
Yeah, a little lump grows out. Something. That could have explained it. Short of that, there's no explanation.
No,
this is just something that made someone laugh. Vince.
And probably
And they rolled with it.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was funny, and they're like, well, how are we going to get out of this situation? We're not, like, they probably just didn't want Mandy and Dana, I guess even a non-title match, pinning the champs. What if they just get counted out because they think Nia getting embarrassing is just as good as a win?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Oh my gosh.
All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Raycon. Larson, doesn't it seem like we're both constantly staring at screens? Whether it's getting work done at our computers or keeping up with the latest goings-on our phones, unplugging from the world is nearly impossible.
You got that right, Steve, but I'll tell you, I'm looking to give these eyes of mine a rest, especially after a long edition of Monday Night Raw. But I still want that content. I need to get it. The content that I need. I pop in my Raycon wireless earbuds to catch up on some podcasts or listen to an audiobook or blast the freshest jams to help fuel my workout.
Yeah, I wear my Raycons when I'm out getting my wind sprints on, and I can tell you, those Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime. With water and sweat-resistant construction, they feature seamless Bluetooth pairing and offer up enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime.
And Raycon makes awesome audio accessible to everyone with wireless earbuds starting at half the price of other premium audio brands, and they come in a wide range of colorways, and always have a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look.
And right now, Raycon's offering 15% off all their products to Going In Raw listeners. And here's what you got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/raw. That's it. You'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order, so feel free to grab a pair and a spare.
That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/raw. buyraycon.com/raw. All right, let's talk about this. This next bit was supposed to be, so this kicked off the third hour.
Right.
We set up the main event for the night. I kind of feel like this should happen early in your show, but maybe that's just me. So it's supposed to be Lashley's celebration. And so MVP comes out. He's going to introduce Lashley. He said, but first, address the WWE Universe. He talks about Lashley retaining the title at Mania. All they want to do today was celebrate and address all of you. But he decided after what happened earlier, he didn't want to suffer any more foolishness. And so MVP offers up some words. He starts putting over Drew, calls him a warrior, tells him it's okay to be number 2 when Lashley is number 1. We watched you pass out to the Hurt Lock. How do you feel today? Walking around with your head held high? No, you can barely lift your head at all. If Drew can't handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock, then who can? No one. This brings out Drew McIntyre. He tells MVP, hey, how do you know how I feel right now? Drew knew Mania would come down to a Claymore, a Hurt Lock, and whoever made the first mistake. He says, I'm mad enough to admit I made the first mistake. No excuses. When Lashley sinks in that Hurt Lock, there's not much he can do. He passed out. He tells MVP to keep wearing the fancy suits, pumping up Lashley, keep milking that cash cow. He wants Lashley on the tallest pedestal he can be on. So when he finally connects with the Claymore, Lashley can fall as far as possible. And when Drew wins, Lashley can look up at him as the new champ. MVP tells Drew nothing around here is given. Everything must be earned. Cue Braun's music. MVP tells Drew to get to the back of the line and wonders why Braun is here. Braun says, for once, I agree with you, MVP. Drew lost. Back of the line. And he says, I moved to the front because I beat Shane.
He is the best in the world, Larson. We cannot forget that he was.
He was. They have not had a subsequent
best in the world. I just want some fries.
So then Randall Keith Orton is out next. He says, Fiend, Bliss are in my rear view. No more mind games. That means I have time to focus on being Legend Killer, Viper, more importantly, Champion. This brings out Adam Pearce. He says, you're all making great points. You're all going to compete, the three, in a triple threat match tonight. Winner gets Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash.
You know, it would have been awesome if Pearce came out and he said, you know what? Drew, Randy, you make great points. You guys fight for that title shot. And Braun's like, hey, wait a second.
Braun, sorry, this match is only for former WWE champions.
I really want there to be like a long-term bitter resentment towards Braun for manhandling that one time.
For headbutt.
That's where I was a headbutt. And he continues. He's like, Braun, catering needs help cleaning up right now. If you can head back there, that'd be great.
It was like on We Book Raw where Braun had to retire and he came back to the arena dressed as different jobs around the arena.
Exactly. He's like, oh, fine. Only this time. So anyways, we come back from commercial. Drew and Braun run into each other backstage. Braun says, I know you saw what I did at Mania. And Drew's like, yeah, Drew says, yeah, this isn't a cage match though, man. If you get distracted, boom. And Braun says, oh, I know it's not a cage match. Don't insult my intelligence. You saw what happened to the last guy who did that. He said, I don't think you understand. You're standing in my way of a title shot. You have a monster-sized ass woman coming your way. Braun.
Next, we get Elias and Ryker against the New Day. Elias about to start a music performance. He dedicates it to Shane. He strums his guitar. Instead, trombone. Does it again. Another trombone. And then Xavier Woods starts doing the New Day Rocks chant on the trombone. This brings out New Day. Kofi gives Elias crap, saying, you need to apologize to the tag division for disgracing it based on getting your ass whooped all over Mania by Braun. And Woods says if something like that ever happened to them, they'd never show their faces around here again. Kofi says, Ryker and Elias should have bags over their head in embarrassment. All they could do was catch Braun's hands. And then New Day shames them. And Elias goes, hold on. Didn't you catch a whooping by a large man yourself and lost the tag titles? And Wood says, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Kofi says, it's not about us. It's about you. Fear not. The New Day will bring honor back by beating them tonight. Going to show them what a real tag team looks like.
I think everything Xavier Woods said was a reference to some piece of pop culture. What we have here is a failure to communicate. I had to look up unacceptable condition. That was from Adventure Time. I want to go back and look at all of his lines because he didn't say a lot, but it was all very unique language. And I'm like, okay, I know 2 of these are references to pop culture. Did he write a line for every single line of his is some line of dialogue from a movie or something? He's a very clever person. It wouldn't shock me.
He is very clever.
Unacceptable condition.
And so New Day did end up winning. Hit the Daybreak to get the win. No, it was actually a pretty fun match.
This was funny. This is fun stuff. This is probably the best Ryker match we've seen. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot, but him and Elias made for a decent tag team. But in the end, New Day got the win with their finish. After that, we had a Randy Orton promo. He said he's been distracted for the past 6 months with Fiend and Alexa, but they've disappeared. Now he can focus on WWE title. After that, we had the return of Firefly Funhouse. Bray says, welcome, Fireflies. It's good to be back. He says, especially with all my true friends. And Abby says, yeah, I don't miss Alexa. She was a B. And then Bray says, no, that's not nice to say that about people. And then Abby says, F that. And he just says, witches be wildin'. And then he kisses Ramblin' Rabbit, acting like he's about to kill him. And then he just kissed him. And he's like, oh, what'd you think was going to happen? And then he says, no matter what happens, we have each other. We'll always have each other. This will be a brand new start for us. A new season, new friends, and a brand new me. And then some church organ music starts playing. And he starts doing the faith healing routine stuff. He's like, you're healed. You're healed. And he says, I feel reborn. I will heal you, Huskus. I'll heal you, Mercy. He will return. No more clout chasing. So
no more clout chasing in this simulation, he said.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
Which made me laugh. I thought that was pretty good. Next, main event, Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Randall Keith Orton. One of my favorite parts of this match was when Braun was making his entrance and saw Drew's sword sticking out of the stage and laughed at it. Just a little chuckle.
Yeah.
That entertained me.
Yeah.
This saw Drew and Orton work together for a bit, try to take Braun out of the equation. Mixed results at best. A lot of stuff on the floor happening, ring steps involved. Of course, belly to backs. Oh, that Orton hit a belly to backs on the... Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. Did he hit a belly to back on the announce table? That's like one of his standard things. I don't think he hit that here. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, finish. Orton hits Braun with an RKO. Covers. Drew breaks up the pin with the Claymore and then covers Randy to get the win. Drew will face Bob Lashley at Backlash. And as you mentioned, beginning of the show, Drew celebrates. MVP walks out on the stage. Mason T-Bar attack him from behind. Double choke slam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciated
MVP soaks it in.
The finish of that was pretty cool. The Claymore just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was pretty rad.
Yeah, breaking up a pin with it and then getting the win with it. That was pretty cool.
Yep. All right.
It was fun. It was 12 minutes or something like that, nonstop.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
It was fun. King Blessed with the sub. Thank you, King Blessed.
Go ahead and answer some questions. We have a thread up here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. And of course, we also answer questions from the friendos here in the Twitch chat live. Let's see here. Cameron Bortolazzo says, so no Joe on commentary. He says most likely means he's heading to SmackDown. Do you think it'll be on commentary or an in-ring return? I was hoping, when MVP gave his promo and he said no one can get out of the Hurt Lock, and the most obvious person came out to respond to him, Drew McIntyre. I was hoping it'd be somebody else. And I was really hoping for Samoa Joe. But man, I won't be mad if Roman Reigns is next challenger, maybe after Backlash, because maybe they'll rerun something from that. But I'm hoping that Samoa Joe steps up to him.
Rerun something from what?
From WrestleMania with Roman.
Both Edge and Daniel Bryan, he stacked them. What is there to run back?
I agree, but seemingly
pretty conclusive. Edge is going to be gone for a while. This is the third time he's beat Daniel Bryan. There's no.
I hope you're right. Something called WrestleMania Backlash seems so beneath Roman anyways that you're absolutely right. There should be one title match there. It should be Bob Lashley. That should be the one, title, the large title, big title rematch. I agree.
World title.
But I don't know. It's called WrestleMania Backlash. Aren't they just going to redo everything?
Maybe. It's a remix, man.
Is there a different way you can stack Edge and Daniel Bryan on top of each other?
Well, you can put Edge on the bottom and Daniel Bryan on top. Otherwise, no.
Can you put them both in a trench coat on top of each other's shoulders?
On top of each other? But then they still had their shoulders to be on the mat.
Yeah, well, he could pin the tall person in the trench coat.
But then he'd have to, rather than pin across, he'd have to pin long way.
So double roll up,
covering both of them.
Yeah, nothing beats the stack up though.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. They're not going to revisit any of that.
All right.
Ultimate Coder with the sub. Thank you very much. Thick and Rugged says, just like Matt Hardy, Vince doesn't know how to use Bray.
Oh, I think that Vince knows how to use Bray. I think he just says, "Hey, Bray, do what you want to do, but if I want to make a quick change to it, that's going to happen, and you're going to have to roll with it." Seems like they have a pretty sweet, because Bray just keeps on going. He just keeps on moving on, So it's like, hey, he lets me do what I want to do, and then I have to deal with his bullshit. But you know what? It's better because Bray gets all sorts of time off also, which is kind of cool. Like that dude, he just shows up, has a couple matches, leaves for months.
He's an attraction.
He's an attraction.
Realizes that.
Yeah. David Matuszek, after Adnan after Verk's hiring by WWE, what other non-wrestling personalities who do have knowledge of the business should give it a shot? Tony Romo.
Does Tony Romo have knowledge of? Is he a pro wrestling fan?
Probably. Isn't everybody? He's from well, no, he played in Dallas. Where's he from?
But he went to college in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I don't know.
Nats.
Who else? What other non-wrestling personalities that has knowledge of the business should give it a shot?
Oh, sorry. Romo went to Eastern Illinois. Sorry.
There you go.
He was somewhere in the Midwest. Trying to think if I know anybody else or know of anybody, other than athletes who I know are wrestling fans. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank. It felt like Rod just took all my life force from me.
How about Michelle Beadle?
Okay.
Wasn't she? Wasn't she involved or something? I don't know.
I think she's been at Raw's before.
Yeah.
Nats, is Corey still on SmackDown? They didn't say anything in the release today, the announcement today, whether he was still on SmackDown or not.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about that. Steven Dunnigan, I only saw a little bit of Raw, but what I saw seemed lackluster. Is the Raw After Mania hype dead or just on hiatus due to no fans? There hasn't been a good Raw After Mania in a while. I mean, it's every year it happens, and then every year it gets worse and worse. People are like,
well, in the last 2 years, there's no fans there. They're not going to try to do something huge with no fans there,
Yeah, but even in the problem was there was a run of Raws After Mania that were really good. You had all these European fans there who were going crazy, who were just like over the top participating and stuff. Wasn't it the Raw After Mania that Corey had to say, or Michael Cole had to say, people that are normally booed are going to be cheered and vice versa. Yeah. It developed a reputation, and there was a run of years when cool shit happened, and then that just stopped.
Yeah. I wonder if they were like, okay, we can't have people coming out here and cheering the heels. Let's just make Raw After Mania as boring as possible.
Let's make it really lame. but people are really slow to pick up on it because it's a yearly thing. But there was a couple of years when like call-ups would happen and cool shit would happen and trades would be made or whatever.
I mean, like Mania 33 after that, Nakamura got called up. Revival got called up. Roman had that great promo to kick off the show where he got booed for like 10 minutes straight.
Yes. You know, the year that
of course, Nakamura getting called up was on SmackDown, but it was, the next day.
You know, the year that I think it changed? You remember it was, I'm pretty sure, was it the Raw after Mania or SmackDown after Mania? When I think it was SmackDown. When Bob Roode debuted.
SmackDown, yeah.
When Bob Roode debuted, he came out.
It was the year after that.
And we were like,
after 34.
Yeah. And we were like, why is he smiling so much? What's his problem right now? And I think he had like a really long match against Aiden English. And, no offense to Aiden English, Drama King Matt seems like an awesome guy and everything. But at the time, his character seemed to be in a position where he shouldn't be having like a 10-minute long match with Bob Roode, who just come off being the NXT champion. And it was like, why is it taking him so long to beat this guy? And it's like, why is he smiling so much? Oh my God, they lobotomized him.
Seemed that way.
Yeah.
White Brownie says something better than Raw. Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, Shotzi, and Ember Moon versus the Way announced for NXT tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Let's see here. Alex.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Alex Foster.
Yep.
What former WWE superstar who isn't in the Hall of Fame yet should return to be a manager like MVP? Also, who should they manage? Clearly, it's RVD should be managing Riddle.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
RVD probably wants to wrestle some more, though.
Probably. White Brownie says Rhea on Raw Talk calls what Charlotte did disrespectful. She calls Charlotte jealous and scared because she is old and afraid she's going to get replaced. She is sick and tired of Charlotte Flair and is done with this interview because she doesn't want to hear that name anymore.
Oh, Banger says Rude debuted after SummerSlam. I thought it was Mania. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
JTV says, what licensed song would you give to each Raw champion? Well, Rhea's theme song is fine. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, Rhea's theme song is good.
What would you give to Bob Lashley?
Method Man's Bring the Pain.
Oh, there you go. That's good. What about
AJ and Amos? I know, it's been that kind of night.
I'm trying to think of a song that has something to do with really, really short things and really tall things.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big Easy, how does this Fiend Alexa feud play out? Is it even a feud? Do you think we get a match or a proxy? I don't know.
What, the Alexa Bray thing? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Aleister Black.
Maybe Alexa's
Black.
proxy will be Aleister.
She needs to be the higher power for a faction. Aleister Black, a rebranded Asuka.
Karrion Kross.
And Karrion Kross. There you go.
Star-Lord Who? With some bits says, thanks for having the best pro wrestling podcast ever. Thank you, Star-Lord. Heel Long Heavy says, maybe a justification for the count out is that they were almost certain to lose anyway, so quit while you're ahead. Okay.
Well, then you should just give up. You should just stop being a wrestler. Because if you're out there with the champions and you're like, oh, I'm going to give up because I'm going to get my ass whooped, which is what the point was. Oh, she's so mad now
that she's likely to hurt us. It's not worth it. Is what they say.
There you go.
The idea, yeah.
There you go. Jorge D says, Steve, the song you're thinking about is Short People by Randy Newman. Yes.
Oh,
God. They use that song in Semi-Pro. Nobody likes short people. Oh, that's good.
Dr. Lipkin, if Nia is being clumsy, she's the number one person I want to stay away from. I like to remain concussion free. This is kayfabe clumsy.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel the point, though. Moses Poses says, I love that Rhea won yesterday, but I've seen how many aren't as excited. How is this push different than Finn's main roster debut?
Wait, whose? Sorry.
Finn. He's saying, I love that Rhea won yesterday, but I've seen many who aren't as excited. How is this push different than Finn's main roster debut? Because Finn had to overcome Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And Rhea Ripley had to overcome Asuka, who, if this was Asuka coming out of NXT, if this was for the NXT title, that would have been like, wow, that's crazy. But imagine having to overcome like Shayna and then Asuka. That's what Finn had to do. And the way it was presented when Finn was drafted really high out of NXT.
It's a huge deal.
And then like when they announced it, everybody turned to him like he was this massive star. It's a lot of it is just has to do with presentation. If he's presented like this hot shit big deal, then we're going to think as an audience, holy crap, this guy's awesome. He's really cool.
He's a big deal.
He's a big deal. And then they had him win beat Roman. And then at SummerSlam in the main event, he beat Seth.
Well,
was it the main event?
Match.
Second to last?
No, it was Randy and Brock was the main event.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was such an awkward match.
That was. Hip Hop Hippo says, I'm so forgiving when it comes to Raw because I usually watch it while I'm playing video games, and Mandy and Dana just walking away because someone else slipped got me heated about something I don't even really care about.
Let's see here. Marvin McGee says, let's say draft is happening next week. Pick, I'm not going to go 5. I'll go 2 each. 2 men, 2 women that should change brands. Asuka needs to go to SmackDown. Asuka needs to go to SmackDown. Cool. Fresh start.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Her and Bianca would be great.
Yeah.
All right, we have someone going from SmackDown to Raw in the women's division. Bayley.
Yeah, that'd be good. She's done a lot on SmackDown.
A swap in the men's division.
I would say Orton. Put Orton back on SmackDown.
All right.
I think that'd be fun for him to challenge Roman Reigns. And that's that's another big win for Roman over a huge name. I'd go Orton.
All right, who from SmackDown goes to Raw then? Daniel Bryan.
Big E, put him back with New Day. Have him do solo stuff there, but with New Day.
All right.
Like, I'm tired of this half in, half out stuff. Yeah. Daniel Bryan's a good answer, though. You can put Daniel Bryan anywhere. Anyways, you got one more good question here on the Twitch?
Let's see. Oh, we have another whole question here from Night by Night.
Let's hear it.
Lesnar welcomes the challenge of beating up 6-foot rap people and accepts your invitation to join them. Unfortunately, or join the team. Sorry. Unfortunately, Keith Lee and Braun are far less keen and turn you down. The reluctance spreads throughout the locker room, and no one steps up to join the fight. As this is beginning to look a lot more like a 4-on-3 handicap scenario in the making, you decide to train harder. What Raw superstar do you ask to help you train for your match?
Seth.
Well,
Raw superstar.
It's Raw superstar. But here's the thing: if the locker room's heard about this, and they weren't no part of the fight, why would I think they'd even be keen to train me?
Well, because
I was like, want nothing to do with it.
For me, it would be Sheamus, so I can get a part of that Celtic Warrior workout.
I would just train with Brock
on his farm. He's like, okay, lift that bale of hay, and you're like, it's really heavy. He's like,
it's like, sorry, Brock, that just gave me a hernia.
He's like, lift it or you get an F5. You're like, okay. I mean, F5s actually look kind of fun, so can we do that?
He doesn't. It really hurts.
Yeah, it gives you a shoot F5.
Like there, now you pick up that bale of hay. Well, you just dropped me on my face. It's going to be a few minutes, Brock. I'm sorry.
All right, on that note, Larson, congratulations. You made it through Raw after Mania. You get smooth ride from here.
Well, tomorrow's a lighter day. That's nice.
Yeah, I know, exactly. We got just a couple little things here and there to do, and then we're all good. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.